Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with the Romantic Piano Concerto, Volume 9. Now, those of you may be wondering, where is Volume 8? Well, you may recall that we covered Volume 8 with Volume 2 because they were devoted to the music of Mettner. So we were able to get two for the price of one. But here we're talking about the two piano concertos by Eugen d'Albert, who, of course, was Scottish. So his name was Eugen d'Albert. So Eugen d'Albert it was. And he was a very interesting guy. He lived from 1864 to 1932. The most commonly told Eugen d'Albert story, or Eugen d'Albert, however you want to do it, was that when he was married to pianist Teresa Carreño, he was notable for saying that, he was married 6 times and she was married like as many, and they all had a slew of kids. And one day she supposedly said to him, "Come quickly, your children and my children are quarreling with our children again." They were only married for 3 years, so that may be apocryphal, but it's still a good story. It really is. Anyway, he died actually in Riga, Latvia, whence he had gone to obtain a divorce from his 6th wife. So he was busy. He was busy in many ways. As a composer, he wrote a slew of music, although not piano music, which is interesting. He wrote 21 operas. The most famous is Tiefland. That may be the thing for which he's best known these days, because it's been recorded a couple of times. But he wrote 2 piano concertos, not a lot of symphonic music, lots of short pieces, slews and slews of them. He was a pupil of Liszt, and there are wonderful stories about him running around, Liszt's establishment when he was young. He was apparently just a monster technician, which these piano concertos certainly demonstrate, and somewhat unruly and spontaneous in his behavior, as we know from his marriages and children and whatnot. And so he's a character, a genuine late romantic character. Musically, his style was conservative late romantic. That is, Brahms, Liszt, Wagner. I mean, you'd say Wagner isn't conservative, but it is in 1930, or, he died in 1932. And he didn't really evolve once he reached his mature style, which was fairly young. We're talking the 1880s or so. And these concerti date from, about that period, the 1880s, 1890s, in that area. And they're attractive. They're attractive works, and they're formally interesting. You can tell he was a student of Liszt. The first concerto is in B minor. It was only his opus 2, and 2 concerti precede it. But this was given the number 1. They may be lost. I know one of them is. Another one I'm not sure. Anyway, it's 44 minutes long in a single movement, technically in a single movement. And that's a haul. That's a youthful thing. It's fun for the pianist. It's got all kinds of stuff going on. There's a big fugal cadenza and all kinds of brilliant stuff happening, and the themes are worked and reworked to a fare thee well. The real problem is getting through the first movement, which is a good thing because it's first. In other words, you can probably get through most of it before your attention gives out, because it's 17 minutes long. The other sections are all shorter. There's a lovely slow movement and all kinds of faster, flashier, interlude-y stuff. It's a youthful work and lots of fun, actually. It has remarkably few dead spots, given how big it is. The second concerto, which is his opus 12, it's in E major, and it's only 21 minutes. It's fascinating how he had started immediately to condense and use his material with a little bit more, let's just say more abstemiously. But the work is lovely, actually. It does not try your patience at all. It's equally flashy for the pianist and fun to listen to. And it's in 4 connected movements. It's in a single movement, as both the Liszt concertos are. And those are, the proximate influences on both works. These are excellent performances. Piers Lane is his usual terrific self. He's a really fine pianist. The BBC Scottish Symphony plays well under Alun Francis. Alun Francis we usually see on like CPO, but he's an expert conductor of unusual repertoire. Really a talented guy, a wonderful accompanist, a smart podium leader. And this is an excellent, excellent release. By any standard, the sonics are terrific. And, Hyperion should continue to be proud of it. There is competition on Naxos with Jablonski and the Moscow Symphony. And who's the pianist? His name, I think, is like Jakub, Borensky or something like that. He's not well known. And it's a good performance, by the way. Those are good performances, too. But this is definitely the thing to get for the Dalbert piano concertos. And they are worth hearing and worth reviving, I think. Certainly the second would make a lovely work in the, at the end of the first half of a concert, that would, I think, garner quite a bit of applause. So I would definitely give this a shot and see what you think. Keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.